Hello, I'm Joshua Kitts, the director of the Composed Dream Games RPG Marketplace, and I want to have a look at primarily two books here, though we'll have a quick look at a few others. The Pendragon core rulebook and Drawn from the Margins, a Troika setting adventure. Now, what I'm going to focus on here is the art and how they look in this case. So, Pendragon came in recently. This has been one I've been interested in to a very long time, but have never managed to play any of the earlier versions. This is the latest edition. The art has a very illuminated manuscript kind of look to it. We've got these layout lines, which you do sometimes see in illuminated manuscripts. We have some decoration. You have that opening. It really is meant to look like a medieval text, medieval manuscript. The paper quality here, it's not shiny. It's fairly thick. So this is a, I think, 250 page book. And it comes in fairly thick. So thicker than, some glossy. Now, I was flipping through here, excited that we were finally stocking it at Composed Dream Games. You can get this and the PDF. And I stopped dead when I saw this, because this looked very familiar. And I went, where have I seen this before? And I pulled Drawn for the Margins, which uses art straight from illuminated manuscripts. The stuff people would doodle in the margins, what monks would doodle in the margins, arguably. Some of it is quite weird. Like Drawn from the Margins, you can play as this strange creature who's really good at axe fighting, but you can't speak. And you have this Inkwell Abbey. Troika adventures are usually a little bit odd. So this is all about, the monks live here, and things are going wrong. I believe the concept is things are coming to life from the pages. Now, that is what made me pull this book off my shelf when I was flipping through Pendragon, because that is clearly the same rabbit. Not exactly the same. It's been redone. I think it's rather brilliant to have used actual manuscripts for your medieval knightly chivalric game book of Pendragon. And I also think it's extremely clever what the publisher of Drawn from the Margins, Watcher DM, did with this, where they used the actual. Now, if we're going to contrast them, the color is a little bit different. There's a bit more detail on this one. I can understand why you would go for that look. But a scan of the original is gorgeous as well. So we have Drawn from the Margins. Troika is a relatively simple system. You can adapt it to something else. There's also a free online SRD. So if you want an adventure setting sphere for Troika, we've got Drawn for the Margins and a few other Troika books on composedreamgames.com. For Pendragon, we also already have The Grey Knight, a campaign for this, as well as the starter set for Pendragon, which comes with a solo play, a few adventures, pre-gens, etc. I also wanted to point out two other books that we carry that remind me, to a certain extent, of this kind of art style. So the Illuminated Edda is a translation of all the Norse Eddas. It's not primarily, it's not a role-playing game per se. There's a very simple story game at the end. What this really is a translation of all the Eddas, all the important characters. all the myths and legendary gods, Aesirs, I just want to, Jotuns, giants, and so on. And there is some weird stuff in this. There's also a little bit of extra material that kind of bridges the gaps in some of the narrative or some of the stories that makes it a bit more of a continual arc. And like there is also a few other mythologies included in here very briefly as well. Like there's a story from Inuit mythology and a couple Slavic ones as well. Celtic Cyclopedia does a similar thing for the Celtic myths, the British Isle Celtic myths primarily. So there isn't as much to directly translate, but all the important figures are here and described, and numerous fragments are also translated. It's got this lovely border on many of the pages, and it has a similar feel. Not quite the same, but it gives you that feel of a manuscript. Similar design choices in the core rulebook, The Children of Eru, which uses Norse runes to resolve all the action, and the core rulebook, Fate of the Norns Ragnarok. It's the same system. The Children of Eru is a little bit newer, focused around Ireland, and some updates to the sort of 2.0 original Fate of the Norns Ragnarok. So, hope this has piqued your interest in some cool role-playing game materials with interesting art that I think is very neat. Go check out Drawn from the Margins. Consider picking up the latest Pendragon. We supply these to friendly local game stores in Canada, and you can also buy them directly from us at composedreamgames.com. Thank you, and as always, good gaming.